Just me. We're here. I think that works. Look at that shit. Shop shit. All right, I gotta have a little sip of liquid courage here. Some good stuff.
Jesus Christ! Man, dude! Motherfucker!
Got some killer in my swisher and my bitch out the prescription. My eyes closed cause I'm dripped. I'm so high, I might go missing. Girl, I know you smoke that fine, but this right here, that diesel. And I know you think you faded, but bitch, I don't believe.
What's going on today, guys? It is a solo pod today. As you can see, I'm alone in the shop. What's going on today, guys? It's your boy Dylan from REV Culture Podcast. We're coming back with another video. So, I was searching. As you can probably see, it's a little cold in here, but we're going to get through it. So, to say the least, we're going to do it like this, guys. So, from what has came up to my attention recently, everybody's favorite sounding V10, the LEXUS LFA, is coming back to production. Now, everybody that was, a car enthusiast in the early 2000s, the LEXUS produced the LFA. The first prototype car was in 2005. It was a concept car. Didn't even really make it to production. It had a lot of work to go on. It actually started with a V8 option in the car, and it later in the 2007 concept came with a V10. To say the least, guys, after that in 2010 they finally put the V10 monster to production. And everybody that knows what an LFA is I guess we can all kind of speak for each other here when we say this. That is the most sexiest sounding V10 that you will ever hear in your life. It kind of sounds like that. And it kind of sounds like that. We love it. So, with the 4.8 liter V10 finally coming into production in 2010, LEXUS produced the LFA, one of the most, in my opinion, iconic sports cars of the 2010, late 2000s, early teens era. That car was a very iconic sports car. It featured, everybody knew an LFA by that screaming formula sounding V10 under the hood that just went to 9,000 RPMs and was an absolute monster. Later then to have on the back where they have their rear grille, as they like to call it, the triple exhaust ports. Very interesting design by LEXUS with that triple exhaust design, but very iconic. As we all know, the only other serious, I would say, iconic exhaust that sticks out, makes you remember it, Pagani Zonda R. If anyone remembers the Zonda, you definitely remember the quadruple exhaust right out the back between the taillights. That was a very iconic exhaust design. LEXUS definitely kind of kept that iconic design with their LFA, doing a triple exhaust out the back, lower on the bottom, like a normal exhaust would be on the bottom of the car, but in the center. Very iconic exhaust, in my opinion. So yeah, to start it all off with the LFA and LEXUS, it started their F Performance line. LFA was actually the first I wouldn't say it's the first sports car LEXUS produced. That is incorrect information. But it was definitely one of the first eye-turning cars Lexus produced in the sports car world, especially with its, like I said, screaming 4.8-liter V10 motor note that was just beyond, I would even say myself, it was beyond its time. It sounded gorgeous. Going off of my notes here. So I got all of this off of, we sourced a lot of our info off of Motor Trend. So if you would like to go follow their page, and we're not asking for a sponsorship, but I would like to say that their information that they provided about the LFA and its new concept car is definitely a good read, as I read it a couple of times today, getting myself my information caught up. But it was definitely a really nice read. I have to give the author credit on that. So to start it off, when Lexus was in its concept in 2005 and 2007, the LFA actually came from an aluminum body. It then was traded out from aluminum to carbon fiber in some spots, which would lighten the car up, make it more, apparently it was stronger. I guess that's personal preference if you think carbon fiber is stronger than metal. I've seen carbon fiber break like glass, and I've seen carbon fiber survive better than any steel's ever survived. So to on their own, we got a lighter material the car is produced with, which was key, definitely in some weight reduction to bring the 9,000 RPM screaming V10 back to life, to give it the G-force and the pull that it has. So their concept car, it was a look into the Lexus Toyota future. Everybody knows that the Toyota 2000 GT back in, I think, the 80s and 90s was a very iconic car. It was well known around that era. Definitely everybody loved it, especially the enthusiasts. I'm speaking on them. But the new LFA was actually not, the body style of it was not built off of the LFA. It was actually built off of the 2000 GT body style, as it was a tribute to the 2000 GT from Toyota. We're going to go back a little bit. We're jumping out a little bit of par here, but we're going to stay on top of the 2010 era LFA here. So 2010 V10 Monster 4.8 liter rear wheel drive, came in an automatic. I'm not sure if it came in stick, but sexy motor note, great looking body, very iconic looking car. Definitely was something that was worth the time of looking. Actually, fun fact, the LFA was built by Lexus. We all know that. I know that's a fun fact, isn't it? But it was actually engineered by Yamaha. Yes, Yamaha. Yamaha engineered the V10 that goes in the LFA. Toyota, I have to say one thing. I ain't talking shit on you guys, but you guys got to get a little original here. You had a Mark IV Supra. That was probably the best 2J Toyota motor you ever made, but an LFA, you had engineered by Yamaha, and then you had the brand new Supra with a BMW motor. So with your sports car world, I think you guys kind of need to step it up. Give yourself a pat on the back there and say, hey, we should actually engineer our own motor. Because yes, given permission, they were allowed to use the engineering from Yamaha to build their motor, as Lexus was the printing company to say for the motor, and Yamaha was the PDF files, is to say, in another sense. Let's see here, what else we got. But with that being said, yeah, Toyota, you guys got to get your game up there. You need to get that Mark IV Supra 2JZ back. You need to get like a nice motor that you guys actually produce, that is going to produce some nice horsepower and actually be on top of the game. But to own their own, good job Yamaha, good job BMW. You guys did definitely have some very decent motors to put into the Toyota chassis. I'll give you props to that. So a little bit of science going into the 4.8 liter V10 that is in the LFA. 9,000 RPMs in a V10. Now, I know that 9,000 RPMs for the Honda guys. Actually, I think the Mustang guys are starting to push almost 9,000 out of their cars. 9,000 is a lot of revs. It's a screaming motor. That thing is moving in there, hardcore moving. And you already know when a motor is going that high in its own, it is definitely 150% getting to the point that it is spinning faster than it can think. With a 78-degree bank, so your, how do I say it? Your V10 is actually in a 78-degree V. So it's not like 45 is like what, 90's like this. 45 would be that. So 78 is probably around here-ish for your V10. It's a lot of the V8s, like American V8s, they got more of a wider bank to them. The V10 out of the LFA has a 78-degree bank. It features individual throttle bodies for each cylinder, which I thought was pretty interesting considering that the car was a 2010 production car. I thought that was pretty interesting. That was a very retro design that they used on the car. And it also featured a dry sump oil system. Now, if anybody knows about oil at all, your motor needs oil to lubricate. And with a dry sump oil system, you get better pickup from the oil in the bottom of the motor. Obviously, you know, the quote-unquote wet sump or normal oil pump system, obviously it has a pickup tube that goes down to the bottom. You obviously can only get so much oil through a pipe. Dry sump, it just yucks oil right up to those bearings and lubricates it all. So that's probably how they definitely achieved 9,000 out of a V10, which is beautiful. That was a really good little engineering design. I don't have the specifics if LEXUS introduced the dry sump system or if Yamaha wanted the dry sump system put in their motor, but it was definitely a really good addition there. Now, going off of what I was saying, out of everything I just said in the past 10 minutes, the LFA, my own opinion of the LFA. Guys, I don't know why the hell you stopped production on that car. I get it, like, with a couple of the production cars that come out, including, you know, the Viper. The Corvette's been having predecessors and successors for years and decades on end. The Ford GT has had 3 generations. The Vipers had, what, 4 generations? I'm butchering that. I think it's 3 generation Vipers. But the LFA's only got 1 gen. It's only got the early, you know, late 2000s, early 2000 teens LFA. And, you know, every time you see these guys on YouTube or whatever driving these LFAs, man, and you hear that motor note, they just go bonkers. You can see the smile on their faces. They're sitting there idling, waiting to go. You can tell these guys are 150% happy with their purchase on this motor because it genuinely has the most iconic motor note I've ever heard in my life. I think I've said that a couple times this podcast. We're going to make sure we have some courage. But to say the least, yeah, the LFA 150% is one of the most iconic cars, definitely in the motor note department. Everybody knows if a car is going to be iconic and it is going to be something that is going to stand out and be something that is going to keep its name. Volkswagen guys, I hear you screaming with your VR6. I hear you out there. It is that's another one. We're not trying to go off topic, but I'm just relating here. The VR6 out of a Volkswagen. Everybody knows that the V inline 6 that the Volkswagens were produced with, the R32s, and a couple of the actually base model Mark IVs came with a 3.2 liter VR6. I apologize if I butchered that. I'm going off the top of my head with this one. But that V6, that V inline 6, that motor note was prime. You guys did a great job making that motor note. That was beautiful. It sounds amazing. The LFA sounds amazing. All these cars that should just have predecessors, in my opinion. They should really, you know, not LFA, Toyota and Lexus are actually making a predecessor, which I'll get to here in a bit. But Volkswagen, VR6, bring it back. Put it in the car. Let's hear it. I want to hear it. I want a new car with a good sounding V inline 6 in it that just sounds like a goddamn trumpet. Trombone, trumpet, something like that. But I want it back. So now to jump forward on the process, the new predecessor, the new LEXUS LFA. Guys, I'm going to need some nicotine for this one. It's electric. Now, I'm not one to say that the electric version of this car is going to be junk. I would like to see it on the track against the other V10. We do know for a fact that the electric car will have more torque, more get up and go, because electric is instant and it doesn't take any time to build power and build revs. But LEXUS, from a car enthusiast to a company that builds cars, what the fuck are you thinking? That 4.8 liter V10 was a iconic motor note, which made the LFA worth driving. You had no cup holders, and I want to quote Jeremy Clarkson. You feel like you're sitting in a cement block. He would like a cup holder for his coffee, but the sound of the motor note, it sounds like a sad animal just screeching out. As I think he said something along the lines of an animal that stubbed its paw or wedged its paw, something like that. Going to an electric model. LEXUS, for the love of fuck. I know people here are going to scream at me about this because that 4.8 liter V10 was an iconic motor note. We went to a quiet car. Not the move. Not for an enthusiast. I see the idea out behind it, but for an enthusiast side of it, I want to hear that motor. There's a reason why I bought the LFAs, because I want to hear that V10 screaming. I don't want to be hitting it and going, whew. I want to hear it fucking exactly. So, going on to that, the brand new LFA, it actually has a bigger chassis. Now, we're not shooting for huge numbers here, but we are shooting for a good solid 7.5 inches longer, 7.5 inches longer, 5.7 inches wider, and 4.7 inch wheelbase increase. Now, we all know that with a longer wheelbase, it's easier to control the weight when it goes around the corners. I think that with this wider and longer body, now with a longer wheelbase, it actually will probably be a more sturdy car. And the LFA was already sturdy. It was already the car was already pretty statured well when it came to the track. We're now making it wider, longer, and widening the wheelbase. I think it's going to be a lot better of a predecessor than I think we think it is. I would like to believe that. But hey, 15 years in the making, and we finally got the predecessor of the LFA coming to the concept floor. I'm excited. The pictures of it online looked pretty sleek. It kept its rear vents for the air. It also kept its rear triple exhaust system. But you're asking me, Rev Culture, how do you do exhausts with a electric motor? Well, those rear exhaust ports, the triangle triple exhaust is now your triple fog light, rear fog lights. Now you have lights instead of exhaust. LEXUS. If I could slap you, I would. It features a Corvette-like style panel in the middle that separates the driver and the passenger, which was a very interesting read from Motor Trend, that the new LFA was compared to a Corvette. Again, I know that the engineers at LEXUS were doing their thing and they were making a predecessor to the LFA. Good job, guys. But hey, let's have some originality here. We got to have a Corvette-like panel in the middle. We had the V10 from Yamaha, and yeah, that about wraps up that part of it. Like I said, the tribute to the 2000 GT. So that was actually the new LFA. So the old LFA is its own concept. It was its own design. It has its own unique body lines, everything like that. The new LFA was actually a tribute to the 2000 GT. Now that is where the 2000 GT came into play now that Toyota has no longer probably had any ideas, and they decided that, hey, we should make a car that predecessors from an 80s car with the later 2000s style and name. Interesting combo, but I'd like to actually see this car come into production and see what it actually is going to perform and how it's going to do. So, guys, I'm going to end this video here with a couple minutes of my own opinions. I love an LFA. Now, when I was looking at this topic earlier today when I was doing my research, I kind of came down a couple rabbit holes. Definitely one being the motor, because the sound of that V10 was astounding. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I watched probably 30 videos on this V10 screaming, and I could not get enough of hearing that thing scream. And it was astounding. Like, I mean, Jeremy Clarkson's video, I want to quote his video quick, just in the little bit. He gets on it, and he's only up to 5,000, maybe 5,500 max RPMs, and you can hear the motor note just loving life. And I've gotten online, and like I said, I was going down some rabbit holes. I found a couple more videos where guys were bringing it up to 9,000, and that thing sounds fucking heinous at 9,000 RPMs. An insane sound, I have to admit. If you haven't heard an LFA, or you're just biased and being Jason, who's an American Muscle V8 guy, just look a video up. Just open up another tab up here. Look up LEXUS LFA motor note and just give it a listen. If you didn't like what I brought into the video, then you need to watch a couple videos of this car yourself, because the design, the style, the motor note, the aura, I mean, the everything behind the LEXUS LFA was just an astounding piece of, I wouldn't even call it history, but it's just an astounding engineering design. Sharp car, great sounding motor, beautiful handling, and a very substantial good power plant out of that motor. I loved it. I thought it was perfect. I would love to own an LFA. If I was like Jay Leno and had a garage just full of cars just sitting around, an LFA would be in there for sure. And I don't even know if I'd ever drive it. I probably would, because I would want to hear that V10. And I said it about 75, 80 times in this video about that V10, but guys, it is addicting. That thing literally sounds like a Formula car. It is beautiful. Sounds gorgeous. I would put an LFA motor in something just because I want the motor note. Not even gonna lie. But yeah, guys, with the new LFA being electric, not my style. Like I said earlier in the video, that beautiful motor, and we went to electric. Now, I think the power output of it is going to be higher. I think it's going to be worth that. But the problem in all of it, I think, is going to be the people that love the LFA are going to miss that a lot. You're going to punch it. It's going to have good power. It's going to suck you down. It's going to love you. You're going to love it, right? But you're just going to miss the sound, the soul behind the car. You know? So I'd like to actually see this thing come out of the shadows and actually become a production instead of a concept car here. We're in 2026 now. I think the car, with how Lexus has produced the original concept, taking 5 years, I think by 2030, the latest, we're going to see an new LFA on production. Everybody keep your hopes up. We're going to pray for them tonight that we can see this car sooner, because I think it'd be something worth looking for. If you go to auto shows, local auto shows, definitely take a good gander at the local auto shows. I bet you the LFA will be there. And take a good gander at it. Go look at it. I mean, you know, if they have the original V10 2010 LFA, take a good gander at that car first, where it started, where that car had its soul, its purpose, its raw, you know, its growl, everything where it was. And then look at the new one and just compare the two, because you're either going to love the new futuristic design with all the iPads and all the other 9 on it that is going to be all cool and hip and hop, or you're going to like the original 2010 V10, the beautiful motor notes, simple body design, simple interior, but it was just a driving machine. I mean, personally, going back on the size here, and I said my opinion earlier, but I'm going to say it again, I think the car is going to be a lot better, bigger, and wider. I have a slight feeling that the interior will also be more roomy. It'll be more comfortable for the driver, as the LFA was more of a compact kind of, as Jeremy Clarkson said, sitting in a cement brick. I would like to see the new LFA be more luxurious, especially if it's going to be electric. I think you guys should really go with a really nice, luxurious car for the LFA. If you're going to give it a nice, beautiful, you know, power output through the electric motors, and it scoots and it goes, give me something nice to look at inside that interior, man. I want to sit in some luxury while I'm going 130. So 150%, guys. We're going to wrap this video up here. To be honest with you, I don't know. We're going to have to see what the LFA does when it comes to production and see what its sale rates are, because it could be good, it could be bad. We don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see on it. But guys, as always, guys, it's not our hobby, it's our culture. Thank you guys for tuning back in here to Rev Culture every Sunday at noon. This video will actually be posted on Sunday at noon on my birthday. So hey, your boy here is finally getting a year older. Hell yeah, you know. So yeah, with that being said, guys, we're gonna wrap the video up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back every Sunday, guys. I said it in the last video, 750 subscribers now. We are moving. That's astounding. Thank you so much for coming on out to the podcast every Sunday and watching our banter and watching our shenanigans and letting us enjoy what we like to do here at the Rev Culture podcast. You know, click these buttons down here, as Jay would say, but hey, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you guys can get these weekly uploads every Sunday at noon. We figured today, with the way that the weather has been, as you can see, I'm the only guy out here because I got the big E truck. But I'm out here. I'm out here making videos for you guys, and I figured I would bring you guys a pretty decent come up for the new LEXUS LFA electric. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is Dylan signing off. Rev Culture out. Good night, guys.